Peace and blessings. My name is Carlos Walker, and today I got my brother Islam with me. How you doing, bro?
Yo, doing good, man. What's up? Salute. Glad.
Man, blessings. So, before we start, if you will share a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Okay, my name Shuaib Islam. That's my Islamic name. I was born Matthew Nesbitt. My father gave me that name. I'm a calisthenic serial entrepreneur. As I would like to say, I do calisthenics, but I use different um, streams or ways to make money. And one of them is calisthenics. One of them is workout equipment. The next is properties, different things like that. So whether it be stock market, uh, you name it, I invest and basically, try to gain a profit off of it. So yeah, that's just a little bit about me, but mainly calisthenics. So if you heard of Rip Right, then definitely you know me just strictly for working out.
Okay. So, before we get into that part of what you do with forward progress, what I actually do, I go into the past. Before you went to, because you actually did prison time, correct? So
Yeah.
we go before all of that, talk about a little bit about your past, go into the prison time, and then speak about all the things that you're doing now, which you named a few of those things just now. Because
Yeah. So I've done a lot of prison time, right? We're not going to sugarcoat it. It's over 10 years. I think that's a lot of time. But if you meet somebody who's done 25, they'll be like, oh, 10 years? Yeah, but it's a lot of time, especially being that I'm 39. I kind of started my jail kind of crime scene, I would say like 14, 15.
okay,
Started with like a stabbing. Um, and then a assault with a bat. Then we went into armed robbery, uh, attempted murder. I got locked up for a sexual assault. Fought that tooth and nail. Um, Parole violation. Ended up doing over 2 years for that, but in the same miss was on another bid with that. Even criminal in possession of a weapon, meaning like I went to a gun range, ended up getting like almost 4 years in prison for going to a gun range, not being on parole or nothing. Yeah, federal time. So yeah, it's just mixy. I got cases. We'll be here for just about an hour and a half, 2 hours, just talking about my different prison bids and why I got locked up and the whole story behind it. But yeah, roughly over 10 years. If you look at it, it's about 13 years and some change. How much I did, a little bit over 10.
okay. So before we jump into that part, let's talk about who you were before any of this, because I like
Oh,
to get into the mind frame of how you got there, what
yeah, so
put you to.
born in Miami, Jackson Memorial Hospital, left when I was like 3, 4, didn't know anything about Florida. Grew up in Brooklyn, New York, Flatbush, East Flatbush, 1212 Ocean Ave, 17 Kenworth Place, um, Lincoln and Flatbush, then moved over to like the 50s, Avenue H in Glenwood, then closer to Mill Basin, Kings Plaza Mall. Was, always clicked up. Started with Latins, which was regular neighborhood gangs. We watched South Central, so we ended up claiming Deuce at one time. We was just young, but we always had like cliques. And then eventually, when the Bloods and Crips came, it's just not something that I really wanted to get into because I was always different. So I didn't really respect the fact that, everybody was this one thing. And in my neighborhood, it was Crip. So Bloods had came out before the Crips, but they didn't really touch our neighborhoods where we were at. So I guess because the Bloods became widespread, the Crips ended up coming out, and I just was like, all my friends turned to Crip, and I'm just like, nah. So I was looking for something else, and eventually I turned what we known as BMW, which is Brooklyn Most Wanted, and at the time the gang had died out, but one of my close bros he went to a school outside the neighborhood, and it was like he met a couple of guys from the old school that was still kind of claiming BMW. He turned BMW, and then he kind of brought it to the hood, and I became like an OG in the set, because I was already a leader amongst the bros, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So when he brought it to the hood, come to find out there was an older dude that used to train us doing basketball and things like that. He was like one of the old originals. So then he became like the head OG, and he gave us the whole history, brought us back to where it came from, and we started to, we was in the streets, guns, robbing, stealing, home invasions, um, doing it all. I was never really a druggie, so cigarettes, yeah. But weed and liquor wasn't my thing. I was like, I was sober. I was like one of those sober kind of guys, and then it led on into my prison career, basically.
Okay, so if I could ask, outside of what what made you decide to jump in the game, just for just a youth who may pick up and listen to this later on, or somebody who even might be older that can actually gain something from it?
I've
What
heard people,
transition the thought?
yeah, I've heard people say that, a lot of people are looking for love and things like that. Like my father was not there, but he was there. Like he didn't miss birthdays. He was in Jamaica. He got deported multiple times and eventually just stayed, but always got that card with money in it. Used to go back to Jamaica in the summers. Um, and grew up with my step pops in the house, but it might have been joining the gang because I didn't, because all my role models were in the streets. Like my step pops was a drug dealer. You know what I'm saying? Like my mom was a 9 to 5er, but if I come in the crib, my step pops could be, it could be 50 pounds of weed if I open the door. Just there, helping them count money. Like, yo, how much is this? Stacks of money. Oh, this is 12 grand. This is 13 grand. And I'm counting it. And then after counting all the money, he's giving me 5 singles, 6 singles when I was young. So, you know, it was always my role models were guys that were in the streets. My brother, my father was a cold-blooded murderer. And I won't say cold-blooded because, I'm not gonna say, because myself included, right? When I look at my family, we never just did things to people,
Mhm.
and I wouldn't say they deserved it according to law, but we took the law into our own hands.
I
You
got you.
you did something to me.
We gonna do something back.
Yeah, we don't have beef. Sometimes it's mostly beef from other people. Like I'm cool with this dude, and even in the gangs, I was like the head of the young bros where I was at, but I never had personal beef. It was always, yo, can you pull up? Yo, bring the hammer, and it's like, all right, so and so got an issue, and now it's my issue. You know what I'm saying? Or this dude violated. Now we gotta cook him. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
yeah, but my pops had bodies, bro, and I've met people that I tell them who my pops is, and they'll tell me about a murder that was committed. Like, yo, your pops killed so and so, and it's like, oh, you know what I mean? Like that, yeah. So it was. I think it was just in a family, but we never been like people to just
Just do
yo.
heinous stuff.
Yeah, just yo, and I'm not saying it's right. Just because a dude might beat you down or violate in some way, because now I'm living according to the Islamic Sharia, the law. So we believe in tooth for a tooth, wounds equal to wounds. So if a dude slap you, you can't stab him. You
No,
get
it's
what I'm
like
saying?
Old Testament in the Bible. Look,
Yeah.
whatever you
If
do to
he slap
somebody,
you, you gotta slap him back.
you cut a hand off. You gotta look. You gotta get a hand cut off.
Yeah, so sometimes I wouldn't say yo what I did was right, but I know that more than likely this dude pushed the button and then I just pushed it back a little bit harder. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
Yeah, so in those terms, yeah.
So we're gonna move forward just a slight. We ain't gonna do the other bids, but the bid that I guess the last bid was the federal bid, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, the way you made it sounded tough. On this bid, when you got locked up, what was the thought when they handed your time down?
It
The
was
process,
tough.
the psychological
It,
part.
you know, it was like, man, I gotta do this time, but I'm already at this time, mind you, each after my first initial bid, each time that I went back to prison after that, I wasn't like doing crime. I
Mm.
was literally the guy you see right now. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, picture me right now, not knowing, right? I'm pushing rip right. I'm working. I'm doing everything I'm doing on the internet. And then one of my bros told you, let's go to the gun range. And I was like, yeah, let's go. I ain't got no parole. I'm a free man. Let's go. Finally. Yeah, I used to love guns and do it illegally. Now it's time to do it legal. And then you go there and you giving your ID and you firing at the range, you videotaping it, you put it on Instagram. You had a good time. And then the feds, and you like, what's going on? Well, you got a felony. Like, yeah, so what's the problem? You went to a gun range on this and yeah, well, I didn't break the law. Well, yeah, yeah, it's against the law because you have a prior felon, so you can't possess a firearm. Like, I didn't possess it. That's the gun range's gun. Well, yeah, it's considered possession because you held it. It's called a
Mm-hmm.
922G. Now you get 46 months. That joint was devastating.
What year was this?
Had to be 2014,
Okay, so you've been pushing Rip Right since when?
2019. So I got out of prison 2018,
Okay, but
August.
you was doing right the whole time before that case when they came back.
Yeah, I was making 1,300 $1,400 a week selling DNA and drug testing. I was a technician. If you was driving a truck and you had an accident, we was sometimes they'll send me out if I was closed, or if it was a different state, we'll send other technicians out. Or if people come to the lab, they would come in there. I would have to take them in the bathroom, stand behind them, make sure, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
If it's FDA, if you know what I mean, they take they leak, give it to me, or hair follicle test. Like, yo, I can't urine. Oh, we would need a hair follicle test because it's gonna go back within 90 days to see if this guy was really smoking. I'm. Oh, he don't got he got a bald head. All right, sir, you got armpit here. All right, lift up your arm. I'm doing this, taking the samples, folding it up, getting it ready, shipping it to LabCorp and Quest Diagnostic. You know what I'm saying? So I'm
you living what we would call a righteous life at the
I'm
time.
I'm
In right standing all the way around the board and just going to the gun range, mess around and got people at the door. All right, you in court. Tell me where your mind was at. I like the psychological part of things.
Now I'm not gonna lie. When I called my mother and we talked, I was laughing and she was not. And she was like, yo, why you sound so happy like you back home? And I'm like, Mom, I'm in a situation where it was decreed. We believe 50,000 years before Allah created the heavens and earth, he created the pen and he told the pen, write, and the pen wrote everything that would happen from then until the end of time. So I'm already like, I'm devastated, but I'm pleased, if that makes sense.
No, I understand because from a spiritual standpoint, you know that we're just walking the story out, but the story is already written. And
Bro,
yes, you do have what we call free will to make certain choices, but at the same time, for those who are called and meant to do some things in life, everybody I don't believe have a certain calling. In the Bible it says many are called but few are chosen.
mm,
You are a chosen person. And that time, God already knew what you was about to go through. It was also for you to go back inside yourself and find something that needed to be drawn out. So go ahead. I ain't mean to
yeah,
break that
no,
up.
that was a good input. No freaky. And then from there, I just told her like I'm pleased. I'm pleased and I'm not going to stress. but I was devastated, you know. So, when I'm in court, I'm wondering like, yo, this was my whole thing. Like, I could do some time. God is not gonna put a burden on me greater than I could bear. But please don't allow it to be a lot of time.
Yeah.
I need to get back out. I got things going on. You know, and so I was definitely devastated, but I was calm. And I just, I flipped right back into prison mode, like, like that. So much so that people was coming in to where we were at, and they would see me like, yo, how long you been down? 2 years, 3 years fighting? And I'm like, nah, I just got in. I'm 2 months ago. They like, because it was already, I was in jail mode. Now I'm bidding now. Like, I'm focused. I'm doing what I need to be doing. And you know what I'm saying, religiously, just being who I am, and that's how I was able to get through that.
So while in there, you had already transitioned your mind state. You had already
Uh,
transitioned. I'm assuming from a time before.
yeah.
So I guess we got to shift back to the time that you transitioned. In the bid that you did choose to transition to become the best version of you, what clicked and made you say, "Yo, I can't do no more. I can't do illegal stuff to go back to prison."
Well, I would say that would probably be my first bid.
Okay.
2003. I ended up turning Muslim. I got locked up in May. I turned Muslim in November, December. And I was still, doing what I had to do, fighting, doing all the wrong. But then, as I just started to get more religious, I wasn't doing I stopped smoking cigarettes. Say,
Hmm.
yo, man, I ain't masturbating no more. I'm not looking at those books no more. I just stopped doing a whole bunch of stuff while I was in there. And I was still young at this time, 19,
Mm.
hitting 20. But what hit the nail on the coffin was when I got upstate. And I tell people this all the time. And on Rikers Island in the jail, when they strip search you, they say squat,
Hmm.
cough. Or sometimes don't even cough, just squat. Boom, we just do a quick squat.
Hmm.
They not eyeing you down. When I got upstate, man, it was these big Caucasian dudes, man. Talking about huge, and they take you singly after you get your shower, all of that. Before you get your shower, they strip you down, and they told me, turn around and wiggle your toes and put your hands through your hair. And then, they like, yo, bend over and spread them. And then I went down and squatted and coughed. And they was like, nah, bend over at the waist and spread your cheeks. That's when I said, it, listen, when I got out, I had a job where I could have probably been making like $100,000 to $130,000 a year, and my parole wouldn't let me go because the training was 90 days, and it was in Texas, and I was in New York, and parole said we only could give you a pass for 30 days. I was like, man, I could just this is life changing. I can go on the run, do this job for like 2 to 3 years, and just come back after I stacked all that money, come back to parole. I might have to do 90 days or maybe a year, and then I'll come out and I'll set myself straight. That bend over and spread them is why I ain't going to run.
Mm.
Because I remembered that and I was like, man, I can't go back for that. I can't. Because it was getting hard for me being out, being a felon, trying to get a job, just constant roadblocks. And then here's this job just right there in my face, 130,000 a year.
And
You
you
know,
can't even get it.
oh man, I was getting ready to go. Like, yo, I'm about to just. But it was that, and then still end up going back, gun range, this, that. So it's difficult, man. But that was one of the. That was like, yeah,
Pivotal moment.
oh yeah, you better never ever come back to jail.
So we're gonna fast forward back to the last bid. You sitting in here. You have the sense of peace. There's an inner peace that only God can give. I promise you. You got this sense of peace, and your mind frame done already changed. Tell me some of the things that you did while you was in there that has gotten you to who you are, because you're still on your dean. You're on your you use disciplines, not
Yes,
just from Islam, but from the Islam, but the things that you learned from prison to even do what you're doing today.
without a doubt.
Because I don't. When did you start working out?
So I would say I've been working out my whole life,
Okay.
but because I play basketball, I played football, I played softball, but mostly basketball. And with basketball, they want you to do suicides. They
Yeah.
want you to do a couple push-ups here and there. So it was never nothing to this extent
Yes.
until I really did this bid, this federal bid,
Okay. Here we go.
and then you start to see how serious the Mexicans are taking it, the Aryan Brotherhood, the Muslims, the Norteños, the Sureños. You like, yo, this thing, like, if we have a race riot in this joint,
You got to be able to go.
and that's just the bottom line. And that's where it kind of like started. My OG Ron, I got in his car, and I just that's when I started to do burpees,
Okay.
um a mile a minute, and broke me down. But then, it built me up, and I worked out so much so that it was my day to go home. I was just telling my bros that, and I was supposed to go home at 11 o'clock. I went out on the first rec move before
Just work out.
breakfast. Yeah, my boy say like salam alaikum. I'm like, "Walaikum salam." He like, yo, ain't you going home today? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm in the gym doing not no regular set. I'm doing a serious set because I know that I'm about to travel 4, 5, 6 hours to get to Philly to the halfway house. Then the next day after that, I might have to be running here, there, do this. The counselor leave me here. I'm like, man, that's gonna be 2 days I ain't work out. In 3 days, I said, yeah, let me just get this in, no freaking, and I could just take my 2 rest days or whatever. And and listen, I worked out all the way up until my last day.
Tell me some before we transition again. Tell me some of the books that you may have read while you was there. I already know the Quran,
Yeah,
but
the Quran, without a doubt. I think I did my most reading really was on my first bid.
okay.
Like the Malcolm X book, and then because I almost turned into a black nationalist now.
Nation Islam. Shout out to the
Yeah,
brother.
yeah. Even past that, I was more on like,
Marcus
destroying the
Garvey.
conspiracy, countering the conspiracy to destroy the black boy. Those different books, the Willie Lynch joint, I was looking into that. The Nat Turner book, and I was going deep into those books. Um, and that's what kind of like built me up. And then I realized, like, man, you turning into a racist. Like, this ain't. Yeah, you know, and then I started to realize I had to say, just relax, because you can't paint everybody with the same brush. Yeah, so on my first bit, that's when I kind of did like most of my reading when it comes to non-Islamic books, just regular general knowledge. But usually I try to stick to the books of Islam because it's so much knowledge to learn just within the deen. Just learning how to pray, how to fast properly, things to say, trying to memorize different, you know, and learn how to read Arabic. You know what I'm saying? So just the Islamic knowledge alone. So that's what I did mostly on that last bit was all Quran muraja, which is called memorization, like reviewing what I already knew. I was giving lectures there too, because on my first bit I ended up being an imam on the inside. Yeah, so you know, and a lot of the bros that been in jail with me, they know me as Islam. So, but a lot of people on the outside, they know me as Rip Right. But we
Yeah.
still have those, like Rip Right is the name of the team. It's not my name, but you have like the brothers that are still call me that we did bids with, like, yo, what's the ruling on? Because just like you see me with the calisthenics, is the same with the religion. I mean, just
You're supposed
preparing.
to.
What was that?
That's what you're supposed to. It's a walk. It's a way of
Yeah,
life. Remember,
yeah.
whether
So
you Christian or Muslim or Hebrew Israelite, these are our ways of life.
yeah, without a
It's
doubt, at
supposed to
Dean.
be. And for me, I learned. Uh, I don't. I don't like to just say I'm a Christian, but I like to say that I follow a way of life. But what I tend to do is I appreciate from being in prison. I learned to be able to navigate and have conversations with all men.
That's
And I learned to appreciate the things from other religions. Y'all's prayer, how y'all pray 5 times a day, the
mm-hmm.
way y'all use the bathroom, the way you do certain things. You learn to appreciate and respect what other men have about their way of life. And you can learn to take and apply some of those things to your own life. The way y'all fast.
Oh yeah,
You see what I'm saying? It's the beauty in being able to see, yes, what all my people might not do, but what y'all do, and how we can have conversations and even build off of one another. Because that's the beauty of me being a man. I ain't got to be a woman to appreciate the things that she do. I just got to be able to see what she go through and be able to really look into her life or walk a mile in their shoes. I can't do it personally, but my mind can wander. And
yeah,
I can say,
yeah.
hold up.
Imagine.
Yeah, and I can say, hold up, you know what? I appreciate that. I don't want that, but I can appreciate their way of life. So for me, being able to see the brothers like yourself, being an imam, this is like a preacher, but you know what I mean, a great speaker, one who have learned and studied the craft and is willing to give back because I have put myself in a position, or God has raised me into a position because I am now not only just a student, but I've become a teacher that stays a student, and I learned that. So look, I big up to it, man. Look,
No,
just doing
no
what you do.
respect, bro.
Go ahead. I ain't mean to go on a
Yeah,
ramble,
nah,
but
yeah. So yeah, so most people that know me for calisthenics, they know me on the outside. So the people that know me on the inside, really, of prison, they know me more for the religion.
hmm
So I have still those brothers there. So they reach out all the time, man. We proud, we love what you're doing, man. Keep it up. But yes, it's alhamdulillah. It's all about, like you said, a deen. It's a way of life. That's how we consider it too. From how we eat, what we say before we eat, before we sleep, when we wake up. It's a lifestyle for us. It's more than just a religion.
so let's get into Rip Right because we're gonna trend. Well, the day that you came home, you told me what you done. How did you feel? I deal with psychology more than I deal with probably anything because I like to for people to understand you went into prison for something that you didn't really know that was going to affect you, but they came knocking at the door. You went in, yes, you was devastated, but you had a sense of peace, and now you're about to leave. And hey, your mind frame was, let me get this workout.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Because I wasn't worried. I wasn't really worried about nothing, and I was looking not really to bring the workout to the streets, but for me to work out in the streets. It wasn't for nobody else. So, my two bros came and picked me up. We drove like a few hours. They had some stuff they got from my mom's crib, my old iPhone, everything that the feds had took. So I was looking at old videos on my phone, stuff like that. And then we pulled right up to Philly, AT&T, and we get that iPhone 10, the newest one out. Boom. Stopped at my boy house, checked him, dropped some clothes off at his crib because I was like, I don't want to bring all this stuff into the halfway house. I'm not from Philly, but I'm gonna be out here for like a month or so, 45 days. And then we went, ate some African food, lamb and jollof rice. I was cool and I was chillaxing. It wasn't like I hear a lot of people, like, I can't wait to get out. Yeah, my boy bringing a girl up. Yeah, I'm gonna be hitting in the back seat, and it's like, dude, it's like, I can't wait. Yeah, we gonna hit the club or a party. They throwing a party. I mean, it's like for me, it was just like it's like a regular day, and people, and that's after doing 48 months. Close. No, I did 41. I think I can't remember how much time, but almost 4 years. But it's like I never did the 10 or the over 10 straight, and my man just came out from doing 21. He was excited, but I think when you got a different calling and you got a because a lot of people that you see are super excited when they get home and they just so jittery and they can't wait. Those the people with no plan.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't got nothing going on. They trying to figure it out. Like what is going? I was just getting 3 hots in a cot. You know what I mean? Now you gonna have to worry about where your food coming from, where you gonna stay, those 3 or 4 kids you got, that baby mama. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have that issue. So my issue was like, yo, I gotta make some bread.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I gotta sustain myself and make money. And that's always been, and practice my religion and get out the country. That's been my plan since '08. You know what I'm saying? So it was just forks in the road. You know what I'm saying? So when I got out, my mind frame wasn't like all happy. It was like, yo, I'm good. I seen the bros. Yo, it was like regular. And that's like even birthdays, Christmas. I never really celebrated it.
Mm-hmm.
It would be times where it was 1 p.m. and I realized that day was my birthday. And I kid you not. And people like can't really understand it. And they just like make a big deal out of things that I don't really think is that big of a deal because I know when you get out, ain't no fun, ain't no play.
If you mess around and you have too much fun, what happens is your purpose disappear.
I knew it's time to work, so all I'm thinking about is how I'm gonna map out. I came home, I left with like 15,000, gave it to my man. He was able to hold me down. I spent almost all of that money while I was in just trying to survive. You know what I'm saying? Came home to like 4 or 5 grand left. And I'm like, all right, how am I gonna make this money last? I gotta do this. Okay, I got boom. I'm trying to do this. That was it. I'm 30 something years old. I'm gonna be living with my mother. I gotta make sure I'm gonna help her out because I know she's retired. She's gonna be going through this. Yeah. So my whole focus was trying to get to it. Yeah, it was like serious business.
What made you decide to? Because as you said, you wasn't really thinking about bringing the work
Yeah.
out here. What
So
made you?
now, as I tell everybody, Rip Wright's been around for ages in the feds. It's a workout car, and I just brought it to the streets. So I had the Instagram because you see somebody that's Rip Wright, you say yo Rip Wright, they say body type. So I had my regular Instagram open, and I think it was when it was like one of my old Instagrams, and I ended up getting Islamically married to a sister, and and I was putting workout videos online, and she started having like issues, like with the videos, but I was putting up those videos just for fun.
Yeah.
I was, and it was like a big deal. So I said, I don't need Instagram. I crushed the Instagram, deleted it. That was my old Instagram from before I went to jail. And eventually, when I got back on Instagram, I got back on with that new name, Rip Right Body Type.
Okay.
And that's kind of like how it begun because my man had got shot twice in his head and he lived, but I was real close with his brother. So his brother had a crib, brought him into the upstairs of the crib and had his sister doing home health aid for him. So I'm like, yo, get me in. So I'm gonna do a home health aid for him. I'm gonna be at the crib. I can work out whenever I want. I'm good. I'm gonna work the chirp. And as a home health aide, they can basically hire who they want.
Mm-hmm.
But he was with a Jewish company, and this company was like giving me the hardest time ever. And I've done home health aid before for one of my other mans. And I was like, I never went through this kind of process. And they like kept, and I couldn't get in. And then I'm like, yo, you know what? I talked to my next man. He was in South Carolina. He was an imam there. He like, yo, come down here, man. We got this flea market. Yo, you could be a merchant. I went down to South Carolina. Went down there, checked the flea market. I'm like, I'm gonna see what they got, what they selling, and whatever they not selling, I'm gonna create a market and selling there. I found a little, so I said, oh man, I'm gonna do some smoothies, some acai bowls, healthy stuff. I'm gonna get this little station here. The flea market is running like 7 days a week. Put in a application to my parole. They deny me transfer. So now I'm just stuck. Now I ran out of money. So I'm like, yo, what am I gonna do? And then that's when I was just like, yo, you know what? I'm stuck here. I can't really get no job. Everything was just, it was just, bro, it wasn't, you know what I mean? I was posting videos. I see I was getting a little bit of traction, but I wasn't paying it no mind. And then I was just like, yo, you know what? I'm about to run with this. I'm about to be a personal trainer. And then I hit my sister and my brother up and was like, yo, I need some money. They like, how much? I told them, I said, I need to LLC this rip right, try to get this trademark, do this. They gave me the money. And eventually paid them back. But that's how I started. I borrowed money from my sister and my brother collectively because they believed. I told them what I wanted to do. And then from there, I started to push the envelope. And then I ended up getting a job working as a detailer for Escalades, like escalator machines. So I would do it in the nighttime with me and my boss. At the time, we would go to like Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, these different places, and hit all the Dick's Sporting Goods, no freaky end. Like the Burlington coat factories at night, he had contracts. We would go in there and clean the escalators. And I started my YouTube and just started clicking. I started doing rep tour vlogs. Like, yeah, I'm out here in VA, about to go to work. But while I'm at work, I'm going to do some reps for y'all. And that's it. From there, I started posting Instagram consistently. Ended up with like $3,000. I'm like, yo, you know what? I got this iPhone 3000 and I quit. I ended up quitting. I said, yo, that's it. Because he was bringing me through the ringer. So I'm like, yo, I quit and just invested, yo, bro, and just push from there.
And
Started
that
my
was and that was what year?
2019.
So 2019, you quit your job. You start believing in what you had, which is your body.
Yep.
And from there, how did these the joints?
Ripsticks.
Yes, how did you end up coming up with
2020
this?
April. Dude hits me up on Instagram because now I'm clicking. He like, yo, I got this product. I think you would work well with it. And I'm like, all right, let me see it. He like, yo, meet me over here in the Bronx. I'm gonna be at my brother's house. I'm telling you, you can make money doing this. I said, all right, I'm all about making money. I get over to the house. I meet him and his brother. He puts me through a ripstick demo. I was like, what is this? He like, yo, I got 10 for you right now. I'm like, how much? He like, yo, $10 a piece. He's like, I give it to you on consignment. Just bring me back $100. The next day, I sold 10 in a day. I need some more. Gave me 100. Gave him 1,000 in a week. And it went from there. At that time, I'm thinking it was his product, but it wasn't. So, not even going to mention his name. But eventually, after I started selling these products at a high alarming rate, we're talking about in person, I ran out of people to sell to because I'm hitting all of the parks, everything. And I'm like, you know what? COVID is, so it was doing good. I said, yo, I'll put them online. When I put them online, they just started to jink. And, people started to say, yo, that's not your product. I'm like, I know it's my man joint. So-and-so, they like, it ain't his. And then I found out about Professor Marvin Gatlin, which was the originator of what we know as the ripstick today, was originally named the toy.
Mm.
He was a ex Green Beret. So he was a military guy into martial arts, and he named it the toy. And he developed a specific style of martial arts with the ripstick called a toikaru.
Mm.
So when I presses out the dude that introduced me to it, he gives me the backstory. Like, yeah, that was my teacher. Me and my brother brought him in. He ended up living with us. He created this invention, and then eventually we separated, but he gave me the blessings to sell it. So I'm like, all right, we good. So, which was a lie too. Anyway, lo and behold, I make like 30,000. But mind you, I'm selling this guy his money.
Yeah.
No contracts, no nothing. I'm not in the business like
You
that, but
grinded. Yeah, you grinded.
I'm like, yo, PayPal just hit me up and said I need to put an EIN number on this account. They want to be able to tax somebody, or you
You
know what I
know,
mean,
shut it down.
they're gonna shut my PayPal down because they can't track this money to no social or no. He like, no, don't worry about it. I got you. We got a couple of different EIN numbers. I'm like, all right. He says that over and over every time I hit him until PayPal deadline comes. I said, you know what? I just threw put my EIN number on there.
Cause you playing games. You ain't give me nothing, and my joint about to drop.
So I said, you know what? I'll put my EIN number on there. And then I was still kind of like working with this dude. He's getting tax-free money.
Mm-hmm.
You
That's the
know what
reason.
I'm saying?
That's the reason why he won't do it too.
Bro, now he's getting overly greedy. Now he wants to charge me more than $10 a stick. And then he's telling me I should be charging more than 20. And I'm telling him, yo, bro, the deal was you give me them for 10, I sell them for 20.
And the way
I
you
said,
pumping them, they shouldn't even be 20 no more. I mean, they shouldn't even be 10 no more.
yo, bro, yo, bro. So he's complaining to me, oh, they cost me 5 to make, and then I'm only making a $5 profit, and then I gotta split it with my brother. I'm like, that's a you issue,
Mm-hmm.
right? You got a partner, I don't. Number two, you're a wholesaler, I'm a retailer. You're never
It's
gonna
supposed to.
make.
It's supposed to be cheaper for you. He's supposed to make less than you. This is the game.
And he's like, yo, you making $10, and then he start watching my money. It was like a big issue. I tried to work with him in so many different ways because I didn't want to do him like that. But eventually we split. It got bad to the point I was even trying to get like other calisthenic athletes to wholesale from him, but he was
Yeah.
telling me like, nah, I'm gonna charge them more. And
He hurt himself.
oh, listen, bro. It was so much different things with the white stick. It was running amok. So we ended up splitting. Once I realized what was going on, he didn't want to pay them taxes, and I'm still working with him. We split. He tried to take the name Rip Right. It was a big thing, big court case. We ended up eventually won. Took us like 3 years recently.
Okay.
I'm over like 60K. It was a lot of work. And after that, I coined it because he named it Resistics, the Power Resistics,
Okay.
P P PRX, pulling rubber exercises, because he was trying to copy TRX, and it didn't work. I told him, yo, I'm calling this joint the Ripstick, and he was having an issue with that. I'm like, nah, I'm pushing it. You want me to be the face? Rip right, Ripsticks. I say, yo, Resistics is cool, but this kind of like, and it stuck. And it stuck, and then we ran with it from there. We reached out to Marvin Gatlin, the professor,
Mm.
his son. I don't know if you know Loon
Yeah,
Amir.
Yeah.
Yeah, aka yeah.
The Muslim brother.
He
Yeah.
was real close friends with Marvin Gatlin's son, which is Terrence. So I found out because me and Loon was gonna go into business, and before that, he was like, "Yo," I was like, "Yo, just get me in contact with Marvin. We gonna get this patent from him." He like, "Yo, we could probably make $1 million a month doing this." I was like, "Yeah, let's give him 10%. He get 100K. We gonna rock." Bro, he didn't want no parts. He didn't even want to talk to us. He was like, he told his son it would be good to see Loon, Amir again, because he haven't seen him since, a long time. And Amir just did like 9, 10 years in prison. But he was just, we didn't get him from the money aspect, so we pushed the envelope again, like from the legacy aspect, like, oh, we also could do a documentary about it. Because, bro, how many of us blacks, created, invented, and then them folks come through and be like,
And
thank you,
wipe it out.
thank you. You know what I mean? Whitewash the whole joint, you know what I'm saying? And just the reality of what happened. So we like, yo, so I'm still pushing that whole doc situation with the documentary because I still want to give him his flowers for what he
Please.
did and eventually award the family. But even his son was just like, yeah, I'm good. Like when it comes to that, that's between y'all and my father. But I don't think he's gonna budge. And like till this day, he ended up passing. He didn't he didn't want no parts. That's why Amir never was able to go into business because after he didn't want to touch it, Amir said, "Yo, I'm gonna fall back." And I was like, "I'm
Hit the gas.
I'm 300-400K in."
Hit the gas.
I said, "Where am I going?
Look,
I'm gonna take all the repercussions that come with this." You know what I'm saying?
look, you done came up. Look, ain't unfortunate. They done must have been dropped the ball. So let's move forward one more time. What else do you do? Because the people need to be able to not just see the success in your mind and how you took your body and the ripstick and made it successful, but being a person who came from the streets, went to prison, came home and figured this thing out. Thanks be to God. And today you are an example for many. Those people who are still in prison who looking and can see you and be like, man, yo, I either know him or he has the same journey that he has partook of the same journey that we have, or somebody out here who ain't got a clue to what to do and they ain't never been to prison. They can look and gain inspiration from your story. Do you do speaking engagements?
No, but I'm eventually gonna. You asked me about that. It's tough. It's tough. A couple of people asked me about it. It was like, how much do I charge? And I'm like, I
Me and
don't.
you gonna build. We gonna build. Don't even worry about that. I'm working myself into this arena now. But the thing about it, you should.
Yeah, yeah, nah. It's official.
The reason why, you're a success story.
Yeah,
And people in conferences and things, they look for success stories. And you took a product and became what we call wealthy, or you using your mental aspect to push forward and become a success, not just for you, but for a group of people, for the world to see something different. You're also promoting health. And as they say, health is wealth. So me and you will build on that. But share a little bit about other things, other ventures that you're into. Enlighten
yes.
us.
So I've tried. So I tried did a little bit of real estate, which didn't work out the best at the moment. I had bought 2 plots of land out here to actually do some things with them, and unfortunately wasn't able to capitalize as I wanted to. But I'm looking more into because I got more land on the property that I currently live at as well, and I think it's like because when you buy these lands, especially out here in Florida, the rainy season,
Hmm.
bro, you gotta be like to upkeep with this, they was finding me like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Just, and I'm not talking about the taxes. The taxes wasn't the issue. Was the fact that the grass was being overgrown and being able to, I ended up getting a lawnmower and then trying to find a trailer and then actually having the time to get out there. So trying to deal with land and property is like my next big move. Now, as far as stock market, we did that, like, dealing with Bitcoin and Ethereum and all of the cryptocurrency and investing in that's a whole nother spill. But when it comes to fitness, it's not just the ripsticks that we sell. We also sell merch, then we sell workout programs, and then I'm trying to go fully digital. It's, I don't know if you ever heard of school.
Mm-mm.
School is like a community where it's subscription based.
Okay.
So like a lot of people want me to mentor them. I get a lot of people in my DMs mentor me or train me, and I'm like, if I got 10 people I'm training for an hour a day, that's 10 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I don't want to.
You trying to collectively do it all in one setting.
Yeah, I would do that, but I don't want a job because that's if I'm training 10 different people at an hour, that's 10 hours. That's a full-time job. So I created a community where you got access to all of my programs.
Okay.
You got, access to me directly, and you just pay a specific fee once a month. You know what I'm saying? That's basically another stream, and then we got the YouTube where YouTube pay us whatever they gonna pay us every month, whatever they feel like paying us, even though we getting 10, 12 million views. They criminals over there. Yo, bro. Yo, yeah. Yeah, so we just working on kind of like expanding in that regard. And right now we invested in what we call sell it on the bars. It's our competition. It hasn't materialized as far as any profits. It's only been outcome, no income from it. But I got the layout on how to make the income. But so we've been giving away $3,000 a month. Just
It'll transition.
oh yeah, just dealing with that level right now. So we working on. Yeah, we working on something big with that. No.
Before we go, because I do want you to drop a word of wisdom. But before we go, I do want to commend you, man, for becoming the success that you are. To me, God knows how to take sand and create pearls, how to take coal, create diamonds, or how to take people who was once at their lower selves, but bring them to become their higher selves. I commend you for that.
Nah, much
It,
love, bro. I
it
appreciate you.
takes a lot of going inside in order to become what God wants us to become, and you've done that. And that is commendable to not just you, but all of my brothers that I get to speak, brothers and sisters that I get to speak to, who have changed their lives in spite of the life that they could have easily went back to. And before we leave, give me a word of wisdom. Then I want you to mess around and share the ripstick with them, and let the people know where they can get it from.
Yes, indeed. Well, word of wisdom, man, is I just put up a post recently. Two posts that I think is real important. One is just do it, right? The Nike. Tell people all the time they keep worrying about, oh, I don't have this camera, or I don't have this specific tool for this specific job. Just do it.
Just do
Like stop looking to be perfect. Completion beats perfection most of the time. So if you're waiting to be perfect at something, you'll never be able to complete it. But if you complete it, more than likely it will be better than
every time
perfection.
it gets perfect.
Exactly. So that's what I tell people. If you look at my first videos, you think they were perfect. If you
Mm-mm.
look at these videos now, you think they're still perfect. They're not. I'm still just doing it.
They are, and because you're doing it.
So that's one, and number two, it spoke about just 4,000 weeks the average life. We just got 4,000 weeks that you spend about 26 years sleeping.
Hmm.
Another 7 years either scrolling on Instagram, waiting in line, in traffic, doing nothing. Another 7 years. So when you start to put that into perspective, 26 plus 7, you're talking about 30 something years. Just you in a whole nother mind state, comatose sleep, and then the other, you're not doing really nothing. So now, you know what I mean? You don't have time, you know what I mean? And a lot of people think that they got time, and they sitting in front of these video games and they playing them and not making no money. And now if you're making money playing video games, I commend you. But if you're not, you just sitting there wasting 5, 6 hours a day. Same thing with calisthenics. This is no longer a hobby.
It was a gift from God.
Yeah, it's not. It becomes a passion. So take your passion and make some bread.
There's
That.
another there's another Bible verse I'm gonna give you. It says, "Your gift will make room for you and put you before great men."
Mm.
You learn how to take your gift, which was, yes, you ended up back in prison, but you took the gift of working out, and it takes and makes money for you right now,
Oh,
and put you before not just, when I say great men, I ain't talking about just people who are able to take their gift and do the same. But to me, all people are great. I only meet great people. Couldn't make
mm,
this up if I want to. But when God takes and elevates you and puts you in front of people that are in the same alignment mentally, things change.
indeed.
I commend you. Now show the ripstick, let them people know where they can get it from, and hey,
Yo, much respect. We got two different websites, or I like to say three. We got sell them on Amazon, we sell them on www.riprightHD.com, and we sell them on riprightsticks.com. You could check us out on Instagram at ripright. I think this, and I don't say it because I just sell it. I say it because I've used it and I believe in it, and I've seen it break down the biggest bodybuilders in the world. And I'm not talking about average body. I'm talking about well-known millions of supporters they have on their Instagram. I've seen this break it down in minutes, 1 minute, minute and a half, 2 minutes. They don't last. This really works. It rehabs your shoulders and it prevents injury. And I'm saying that not because I sell it. It's because I believe in it. Yeah, I push it.
look, I'm also I need one of them, but I
Oh,
need mine signed.
oh
Look,
yeah, I
eh,
got you, bro. You
look,
just gotta let me know when you order, and then we gonna get you right.
I got you because I need to
Yeah, I
sing.
got you. I got the spray to spray on it, and then the sign over it so it don't.
Look, I love you, bro. I appreciate you.
Yeah,
I will
much
be, I
love,
will
bro.
be sending this to you. My name is Carlos Walker. This is Forward Progress, and this is my brother Islam.
Thank you.
Blessings.
Bless. Be